I am a CPA and I am in Ontario, Canada. So this is what's going on. The CPA is Chartered Professional Accountants. About 10 years ago, there used to be 3 separate designations. There was CA, CMA, and CGA. About 10 years ago, all 3 merged together. As a member of CPA Ontario, I'm also a member of CPA Canada. So there's kind of 2 different governing bodies above us. And when we pay our annual dues, which is like between $1,000 and $1,200, about half of it goes to CPA Canada and half of it goes to CPA Ontario. Well, all of us CPAs in Ontario got a surprise last week when we got an email from CPA Ontario basically just saying that they are discontinuing their relationship with CPA Canada. Keep in mind, this is the first we're hearing anything about any of this. Just out of the blue, we received this email. So it says, important update, a new approach for CPA Ontario. Dear Melissa Silber, we are writing to share an update with you about CPA Ontario. As the regulatory body responsible for overseeing chartered professional accountants and accounting firms in Ontario, it is our role to protect the public, ensure our more than 100,000 members and 20,000 students meet the highest standards of expertise, and advance the profession by staying ahead of global economic and technological trends. It talks about Ontario's economy. That's why, following thoughtful consideration by the CPA Ontario Council and discussions with other provincial and territorial CPA bodies, as well as with CPA Canada, CPA Ontario has provided notice that it intends to conclude its current arrangement with CPA Canada and align on new working relationships. This decision will enable CPA Ontario to better protect the public, serve our members and students, and advance the profession by being more nimble and innovative. This change in our relationship with CPA Canada, which coordinates certain services and programs for provincial and territorial CPA bodies, will take effect in 18 months per the terms of our agreement. We will ensure the continuity of member services, your mobility across provincial and international borders, and student learning. CPA Ontario's regulatory functions will not change. When the transition is complete, you will notice a significant cost reduction reflected in your annual membership dues, which currently include both CPA Ontario and CPA Canada's fees. We remain committed to working closely with our provincial and territorial counterparts across the country on matters important to the profession, including maintaining a world-class portable CPA designation. So as you can imagine, all CPAs in Ontario are like, what the hell? What is this? And why are we learning about this after the decision has been made when it is something that affects all of us because it's our profession? 2 days later, they send out another email. Since we announced our decision to find new ways to work together, we have received many thoughtful questions from our members about what this means for unification, for your designation, and for the profession. We remain committed to unification, a unified designation, and a unified profession across Canada. We owe it to the next generation of CPAs, as well as to you, to be looking to the future of the profession and not be held back by the status quo. Ouch. For 5 years, we have been engaged in an extensive review of how we work with CPA Canada. However, following years of discussions with working groups and committees involving CEOs, provincial and territorial board chairs, and CPA Canada, including at times the use of a consulator, we could not reach an agreement. We are simply too far apart with CPA Canada on some fundamental issues. What are these issues? We don't know. After 5 years of negotiations that there was issues, did any of us have any idea that any of this was going on? No. We were just hearing about it now. In the face of no resolution after 5 long years of discussions, our council made the decision to withdraw from the collaboration accord so we can focus our energy on charting the path forward for our designation. And then they include a whole FAQ document, which I'm not going to get into because this is already getting long. But what are your thoughts on this? Just curious. Say that neither regulatory body, we don't really have much to do with them on a regular basis. We pay our dues and we have to do a certain amount of professional development each year to keep our designation. But beyond that, we're not in regular contact. Not clear how this really affects and who does what at that level. Such a big change, you would think would have some sort of member consultation before they go ahead and make this decision, especially if they've been negotiating for 5 years. And I can't help but think that there are egos involved in this, because there's always egos involved. And whose egos are they? Who are the people actually making this decision? And how do we as the members know that they actually do have our best interests at heart if we don't know what the actual issues under negotiation are? I am now just CPA Ontario, but what if I was a fly on the wall, I agreed with CPA Canada, and I'm now forced to be in CPA Ontario and cut off from CPA Canada? So it's just all very messy, and it seems that a lot of people are kind of PO'd about this.